Disgruntled. This is going to be a short podcast, shorter one than what we've been usually doing, and it's not going to be an interview as well. It's going to, for the next 3 weeks or so, we're going to go back to normal how we did to begin this podcast, where we just reviewed or we predicted NFL games, kind of went over news, and then, of course, went over our League of the Wings fantasy football. But this time we're just going to do a quick overview of the recent free agency the past couple months or so. Some of our predictions that we made earlier in the free agency before it really started. We did the top 25 free agents and we predicted where they would go. And basically we're going to go over that and any other big trades. And then next week we're going to do predictions of the draft. We'll dive more into that next week. And then after that, the reactions to those predictions that we made and the draft in general.
Yeah. I'm back, baby. Let's go. Let's get into some non-free agent off-season happenings first, just because I just feel like it's important to go over those. So I'm going through a list of the biggest off-season moves and how they'll affect NFL. One of the biggest ones is the acquisition of Matthew Stafford by the Rams in a trade that Lions got Jared Goff, a third-round pick, and first-round picks in 2022 and 2023. So it was a big trade. Not a lot of people expected it to be as high value as it was. I mean, Matthew Stafford's a big deal, but maybe a first and a second, call it a day. But they actually got a actual starting quarterback as compensation alongside 2 first-round picks and then a third-round pick. So that was Rams just, it was one of those things where Rams had all the property, and all these other smaller teams are just oh, we'll give you a decent amount, but then Rams know they have something to spare, so they just go overboard. They just wanted Stafford as soon as possible. No more further conversation. It's one of those things. What do you think this means for the Rams and the Lions?
I think this is a huge win for the Rams and not so much for the Lions.
2 first-round picks, though, man. Think about that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Matthew Stafford, and I don't feel like they're going to do too much with those first-round picks. I think Rams won this trade because it's Matthew Stafford, and his talent got just demeaned or pushed down due to the Lions' just mediocrity over the past, decade? Because he's putting up stats, crazy stats year in and year out. He's never had an off year, and he just has a lot of talent, and I feel like that's one of Rams' biggest needs. Not that, because Jared Goff wasn't really doing that for them, pushing it to the next level. He was just kind of there along with the ride. He just didn't push it over the next level or got to the next level that Matthew Stafford and some of these other quarterbacks got to. And I think it's going to make at least, maybe not first year, but at least the next couple of years, deep playoff runs like we've seen the Rams can do. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl a few years ago. I know that you were disappointed with this one because of the Colts, and they were one of the teams in discussion for getting Matthew Stafford. So what are your thoughts on that?
As far as Colts are concerned, I think they won.
Yeah.
I think they would have had to pay way too much for Stafford, and considering, I guess we should just go into this now then. Their trade with Carson Wentz, how that went down in comparison to how fucking Stafford's went down. I almost feel like Lions did win that trade just from the fact that they can turn that capital into a rebuild if they really need to. They can roll with a veteran quarterback for a bit. I mean, is Goff even really considered a veteran? I don't know, but just an average starting quarterback for a bit, see how that goes as they use the newly acquired picks to their advantage. But then even after that, I feel like they'll still have capital left over to at some point trade up to first pick, maybe, I don't know, and get someone really solid once they feel like they need to get someone really solid, once they feel like they're ready for it. My only concern is with their new coach, who I'm not very confident in. He seems like some guy. I just don't know how it'll go. I mean, I don't usually have a lot of faith in Detroit, but let's say best case scenario, they actually get their shit together with all this, like they have the means to get their shit together.
Yeah.
So, as far as the Colts go, though, they acquired Carson Wentz for a 3rd-round pick and a conditional 2nd-rounder. Eagles fans call it a conditional 1st-rounder because basically all Wentz has to do is play a percentage of starting, or no, just percentage of snaps, which really is just the question of, is he injury prone? Because as the Colts were looking at it, they're like, well, he does have a history with it, so we need to have a backup plan there. We don't want to give up our 1st-round pick if that ends up happening. We don't want something like that. So it could become a 1st-round pick if he remains healthy, and that's all it really comes down to. What do you think about this trade, Caleb?
We did the 15-minute video on it, so I'm not going to dive like too deeply on it. But I mean, I hate to see it. I saw it, like, I feel like us as Eagle fans saw it coming for the last like year and a half, or really ever since we drafted Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round. We kind of saw this kind of coming, that Carson Wentz was going to be traded eventually. It was just, the question was when and to what team and what we can get for him. And I think, I don't know, I feel like we could have probably gotten a little bit more out of him, but I'm not mad about what we got for him, because I feel like Carson Wentz can at least stay healthy for this round and give us that 1st-round pick. I don't know. I feel like we could have gotten at least like a player from him, not like a major player or anything, but at least a player as well. And I would like to see like a little more from that trade, but I don't know. I hate to see him go. He's been an Eagle for 5 years now, and he's basically carried us year in and year out ever since we've drafted him. And he's a fan favorite, obviously. I feel like he's at least a top 15, top 20 quarterback right now in the league. I mean, after the previous year.
Top 15?
Yeah, top 15, top 20, like as of now after the last year.
Yeah.
But I would even put him in the top 10 before that year happened.
Right.
I still consider him a top 10 quarterback. He just had an off year. But just, I don't know, putting everything into perspective, I wouldn't like argue with him being down to like top 15, top 20 quarterback. I can see him roughly around there, but he has potential to be at least a top 5 quarterback quarterback in the league if he actually immediately all time. But like, yeah, I think this is best case scenario for the Colts. They've absolutely won this trade. I think this is like one of the best deals in the entire league, and I was just going to hype up the general manager of the Colts who got him, because this was like a genius move, because a 3rd-round pick and then only spending a 2nd-round pick, possibly a 1st-round pick for like Carson Wentz, that's like a beautiful deal. And like if it doesn't pan out, then you're not spending too much on him too, because the Eagles are fucking paying that like $31 million contract for his 1st year. So they basically get him free for a year. And I think it's like a 3-year, 4-year for like $70 million for like a quarterback like that in this league. That's like a crazy good deal. So Colts absolutely won. And yeah.
And we have some of those cap space as well. And we didn't even have to use much of cap space in general.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest deal, is the fact that we still remain one of the teams with the most cap space, despite needing someone to fill in the quarterback position and needing to fill in the left tackle position. Those two things, like, that can take up so much cap space alone, to find a starting quarterback and a starting left tackle. Left tackle is still something we're concerned with, and I think it'll come down to drafting, probably in the 2nd round. I'm not really convinced with their 1st-round slot, if they'll get a decent enough left tackle there. But regardless, we'll get into that more later, another date. I feel like the fact that they didn't have to use much cap space for a very solid starting quarterback, regardless of what we saw last year, you can't deny that he has a lot of potential. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't Wentz, then who would have been left with in free agency? Like fucking Darnold?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of good options there, so this was obviously like the best thing that could have happened after Stafford got taken. So,
and just a quick note too, since 2017 to 2019, so excluding his rookie year and then this previous year, his stat line looks like he had since 2017 he had 33 touchdowns for 7 interceptions. Next year 21 touchdowns for 7 interceptions, and then next year after that 27 touchdowns and then 7 interceptions, totaling for like 10,500 yards in that 3-year span. So he just went absolutely off. And then his average rating is like a 97, 98. Like, that's crazy to put up that stat line with absolutely no wide receivers at all. So if the Colts can draft or get like a veteran wide receiver, I guess they already have T.Y. Hilton, but if they can get another presence to kind of help Carson Wentz with that, he's going to go absolutely off too, because they have Jonathan Taylor as well, which is a dual running back. And just if they get another wide receiver or like a good tight end, then I can see the Colts making a deep playoff run, even with the first year of Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see how he does with the Colts.
No, yeah, I mean, if Colts could make to round one with Phillip Rivers, I think they'll have no issue with Wentz, especially considering like we had like a rookie running back starting, and then also a rookie wide receiver who ended up with like the most receiving yards out of everyone. Like, I feel like they will show lots of improvement. And with that improvement, Wentz will, like, you know, have this, like, this energy boost. Just knowing that there's a lot of young, youthful energy around them, that they're all going in, like, the same common direction of just improving. We're not, like, an old team by any means, so nothing is, like, falling apart. Finally, the other quarterback trade was, like I mentioned, Darnold. Like, after Wentz was taken, it's like, oh, well, now we have to talk about Darnold. Like, where is he going? Because no way Jets are keeping him with, you know, where they are in the draft right now. And so he got traded to the Panthers. How do you feel Darnold will do now that he's reunited with Robbie Anderson? He has DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, like a very high-powered offense. You know, hopefully, like, Christian McCaffrey returns to form after his injury, of course. How do you think he'll do?
You know, I don't really know how to think of this, because I wouldn't be surprised if he does, like, god-awful, but, like, I can also see him popping off with that offense, because just the weapons around him, especially McCaffrey, and then the other weapons that you said, like, I think he's a decent quarterback, and I don't know if he can surpass Teddy Bridgewater. Right. Like, I feel like he's kind of in comparison.
And PJ Walker from Temple.
Temple represent. But, like, I don't know. I feel like he's kind of the same skill set as Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater may be a little better as of now, just from what I've seen from him. But, like, I feel like he's a young quarterback and he has a lot of room to improve. And I feel like the Panthers are the best spot for him to improve. And with Robbie Anderson, another Temple alumni, I think that relationship will spark off really, really well. And I feel like Anderson is going to get at least like 1,000 yards, because Anderson was also with the Jets when Darnold was with the Jets. So that connection, I feel, is going to be one of the best in the next few years. I kind of just have to see a little bit more out of him to officially judge him, because I haven't really seen much tape on him, but just from the couple highlights that I did see from him, he has a lot of potential to grow, and he just needs to be on the right team to actually allow growth, because I feel like the Jets were kind of stunting that, because like they're the fucking Jets. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can see him really popping off on the Panthers, but if he does bless you, but if he does really bad on the Panthers, I wouldn't be surprised either. So it's like either he does really good or he does really bad. Like, I feel like there's no in between.
Well, damn. I think he'll just do okay. I think I was like the exact opposite of what you're saying. Yeah, I feel like Panthers will just be back where they were when, you know, McCaffrey was... Like, people were debating whether or not McCaffrey's, like, whole 2019, like, whether or not that deserved to get him MVP. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter was, like, the team wasn't complete enough yet to actually, like, win enough, and McCaffrey wasn't actually getting them wins, so he was just getting really good stats for himself. I think it'll be a similar situation where, even regardless of not, like, whether or not McCaffrey returns to that form, 2019 form, I just feel like offensively they'll get, you know, enough done, but not enough to, like, really be, like, a big winners. So they'll just end up, like, in the mid-range of the next draft, 15th maybe. That's where I see them, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that too. I agree with you. I don't think this is what pushes the Panthers over the edge.
Yeah, absolutely not. They're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah. So, do you want to transition? Not really I guess it can be lumped in free agency, but do you want to go over the
We'll go to the actual. Free agents. The JJ Watt. Yeah.
JJ Watt dilemma, because that was like a pretty huge thing, even though he was released by the Texans, right?
He was released, and this was after like we had done our own predictions, so he wasn't lumped with the whole free agency stuff. But yeah, he did find a home. I don't think anyone expected it to be where he ended up. A lot of people say, oh, he was going to join his brother with the Steelers, but I don't know. I didn't think that was really realistic, but where else did people say he wanted?
I think Green Bay.
Green Bay was a big one, yeah. Everyone was like, oh, he got to go to Green Bay.
I mean, like, I think the Eagles were also lumped into that, but they're, like, lumped into every, like, off-season thing. I feel like it's just mostly rumors than anything.
Because Eagles fans are loud, and they'll just be like, oh,
yeah,
we're getting him.
Yeah.
Cardinals is a good fit, though. I think, I feel like that is going to make Cardinals a lot better. Cardinals are fucking dangerous already. Yeah. Like, I always feel like I kind of, like, look at them as, like, the prodigy of the NFL. Like, you know, as soon as, like, Michael Jordan enters the league or Kobe Bryant entered the league, like, everyone knew, oh, they're going to go off one day. They're just, you know, getting started. We just have to wait for it. Yeah. And sooner or later, they will pop off, so... that team's got so much, a lot of danger.
And that's the reuniting of DeAndre Hopkins and JJ Watt as well, so that's going to be a crazy dynamic to watch. As you probably could have predicted, Hopkins was stoked that he was able to be on the same team as JJ Watt again, because those are two players that are probably the best in their respective position, if not the top three at least. Like, there's no arguing that they're in the top three. Mm-hmm. But I think they're both number one players in their position, respectively. Mm-hmm. Top five in, like, all combining all the players. But yeah, it's just going to be crazy to watch the Cardinals, because they already had a lot of talent last year, and then they're just adding on to that. And
they added so much more. I'm not sure if any of these were in our actual predictions, but probably not, because, like, they're not, like, super big names, but they're very solid when you really think about it. Like, Cardinals, we know, like, rush game, like, they always had, like, just, you know, okay rush game as far as, like, running backs go. And I feel like they kind of added to that with James Conner. Like, nothing super big, but, like, he's still, I feel like, can be consistent for them. They got a backup quarterback, Colt McCoy. They got A.J. Green, another solid veteran wide receiver. And maybe they'll re-sign Larry Fitzgerald at some point as well. But, you know, if they don't, then they have a different veteran who's still very solid. Yeah, who else? Oh, center Rodney Hudson. That was huge. He's a very solid center, and they definitely needed that. And then cornerback Malcolm Butler. I guess they lost that. Who was that one cornerback they had? Buda Baker?
Patrick Peterson.
Oh, Patrick Peterson. Where did he end up?
I forget where he went. But James Conner just basically...
The Vikings.
Oh, okay. That's going to be crazy to watch him on the Vikings. But I was just going to quickly say, basically, James Conner replaced Kenyon Drake, their previous running back that I think went to the Raiders. So I feel like Conner is just a replacement for Drake.
Yeah, I would say so. Also, then there was Matt Prater. They needed a better kicker, and Matt Prater is definitely very solid. So good on them there. Now we can actually get into our actual predictions, I guess.
All right. So I'm just gonna reset the camera real quick. So for some reason I'm not.
It's a shared document.
You think it'll be like in my Google Drive? I was looking at my Gmail.
Well, it should have gone to both.
Oh wait, there it is. Thank you. All right. Let's get into this.
All right, so we had 25 big names that we were going over. Not all of them, not all the big names are necessarily covered here, but you know, ones that we thought were going to be interesting enough. Number 1, Dak Prescott. Would they actually fucking extend him or not? And they did.
Yeah. This was kind of expected. He's such a good quarterback, and I was really wanting him to not be on Dallas anymore and get like the fuck out of the NFC East, because he always kills us one way or another. I don't know. I guess I'm also happy that he also stays, because I feel like Ezekiel Elliott also carries him a crap ton as well, because just with the stats proven that without Ezekiel Elliott playing Dak Prescott plays significantly worse. But with him, then it's like they're basically unstoppable. So in that aspect, I don't mind. But like Dak Prescott's a really good quarterback. I think they finally saw his potential and gave him a pretty good contract, right? They gave him like that huge contract.
It was very big.
I forget the exact numbers on it, but
then Allen Robinson didn't get tagged by the Bears. I said he was going to go to Indiana, but I'm pretty sure he got tagged by the Bears. I should pull up that document I had before. I can find out for sure. Yeah, this was like everyone, I feel like, who needed a wide receiver in the league were looking for Allen Robinson, but he did get a franchise tag. So we'll see what happens next year, I guess. Chris Godwin did get re-signed, did he? No, he also received the franchise tag. So we both thought Chris Godwin was getting the fuck out of Tampa Bay, but I guess all the Tampa Bay guys want to run it back. So I said San Francisco, and you said Miami.
Yeah. So we were both wrong there.
I feel like both places make sense, honestly.
Yeah, just like a quick side note, for the Dak Prescott, we both predicted that he would go to Dallas, and then you predicted that he would go to the Bears, and I predicted that he would go to the Colts. I think you said that, but I was just making sure. I don't know. I just, like, it kind of made me sad that no one out of the box, like, left. Because, like, they're just going to be another, like, unit. And I feel like, is that the first time in NFL history that all 22 starters, like, came back after a Super Bowl run?
I don't know. I feel like Chiefs accomplished a very similar feat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was to that extent, like 100%, but like everyone said, like, oh, it looks like the Chiefs are running it back. Like they didn't lose anyone.
Yeah, but like that's still like crazy to have all 22 starters come back, and they're going to probably re-sign Antonio Brown as well. Another quick side note, like the Dak Prescott, his contract is he will receive a 6-year, $240 million deal from the Cowboys. That includes $126 million guaranteed and a record $66 million signing bonus. However, the final 2 years of the deal void, making it a 4-year, $160 million deal. So the Cowboys are finally paying him as he deserves, and he's getting that big paycheck.
Can you check GarageBand real quick? I just moved my mic. I just want to make sure.
It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Justin Simmons, Denver. I thought he's a young safety that everyone seems to want. I was like, hey, give him to Tennessee. They're always, looking to improve their defense, it seems like. But Denver put the franchise tag on him. Next, you correctly got Denver. Caleb.
And then Tyus guessed Tennessee. And after this one, because this was one of the first ones that came out of the list, I was getting so cocky. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go undefeated. Like, I'm pretty sure Dak Prescott was, like, within the same week or whatever, and I was getting so cocky. But then, yeah, you'll see how that turned out.
Yeah, next was Leonard Williams, defensive end, also received the franchise tag. So all the, like, big people that everyone wanted just keep getting a franchise tag. Let's see, the other, who did we say for Leonard Williams? I said Atlanta. Atlanta could have really used that. You said Tampa Bay. Yeah, they just wanted their actual starters. I mean, I feel like they would have considered it if you didn't get a franchise tag. Like, hey, let's go and improve rather than re-signing one of these guys. But then we had Trent Williams. He re-signed with San Francisco. This is what we said would happen.
That was another huge deal. It was he agreed to terms on a 6-year, $138 million deal to stay with the 49ers. The contract includes $55 million in fully guaranteed money and on a $30 million signing bonus. I think it's the largest contract given to an offensive lineman. So
yep.
You're seeing players getting their cut.
Well, yeah, tackles in their second contract, they just fucking get paid. It's awesome to see. And guards too, honestly. As long as they're good enough. Let's see. Who else? We have Baltimore's Ngaku.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for butchering it. Where did he end up? Let's find out. We both got it wrong. He did not return to Baltimore. He went to the Raiders. Ooh, that's dangerous. Raiders defense is already fucking wild. Yeah, that's really good for edge rushing for the Raiders. I said he might go to Dallas. Why not? Like, Dallas definitely needs it. But yeah, I feel like Baltimore would have really liked to keep him as well, but he just was not convinced. Wanted to try his luck elsewhere, and Raiders were willing to pay enough. So
I kind of feel bad for Baltimore because they're trying to get so many wide receivers with that wide receiver dilemma. Like, they were trying to offer so many deals to so many.
they came close with Ty.
Yeah. But, like, other, like, Galladay, I'm pretty sure they attempted.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Juju Smith-Schuster. They also attempted to, like, spend big money on wide receiver, and they just could not make a deal on these big wide receivers. They're like, nope, I would rather stay on my team. And it was funny with the T.J. Hilton situation because he basically said, I would rather take less money and stay on the Colts than to take more money and go on your team.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, he, like, represents Colts more than any Colt currently does at this moment. I mean, Darius Leonard is also, like, very similar in that sort of, like, energy, but he's still younger. Like, as far as tenure goes, T.Y. has the advantage. So, and also he's he's stuck with us through so many quarterbacks at this point. It's, like, hard to keep count. So, yeah, I mean, the glory days of him and Andrew Luck, like, no one can forget that. They were unstoppable.
And that'll be if he gets to 10,000 receiving yards, that would be their third wide receiver to reach 10,000 receiving yards. Or I mean, I remember you telling me that stat a little while ago, and I just find that really crazy because not many teams can say that. To have, like, a wide receiver to stay for that long to reach 10,000 receiving yards on a singular team, because 10,000 receiving yards is a big feat for a wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we have such a star-studded fucking wide receiver list when you really think about it. Reggie Wayne should be a Hall of Famer, and before Julian Edelman. I don't even know if Julian Edelman will ever deserve it, but Reggie Wayne especially more. Speaking of wide receivers, Kenny Galladay went to the Giants. I said Indiana. I just, like, all the wide receivers, like, come to Indiana, please. No, fuck. I wish we did something cool in free agency. We really didn't. I mean, yeah. I guess, like, no, I mean, Carson Wentz wasn't technically free agency, so yeah, we didn't do anything cool other than re-signing people we wanted to re-sign. So, anyways, Kenny Galladay went to the Giants?
That's gonna suck. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, it's Daniel Jones. Like,
yeah, but true. But I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like we always get smoked. The Eagles always get smoked with wide receivers, and just to play him twice is gonna absolutely kill us. Because I mean, Eli Manning in his final game, like, a couple years ago, like, fucking Sterling Shepard smoked us for, like, 180 yards in, like, the first half alone with 2 touchdowns. So, like, that makes me even more scared because Kenny Galladay is way better than Sterling Shepard is. So, like,
yeah, I guess, like, Daniel Jones, he, I don't know, he'll definitely really appreciate this Galladay move. I don't know if Galladay will appreciate Jones at all points, but hey, maybe Jones just, like, surprises us all, and, you know, that connection just ends up really good. Like, kind of like with Josh Allen, everyone was like, Josh Allen, but then he got fucking Stephon Diggs, and all of a sudden he's MVP material. So yeah,
that just goes to show that you just need one star receiver and you're a complete quarterback.
Or an offensive line. I think they also improved there. Also, I mean, Josh Allen was young. Daniel Jones is young. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen just, like, you know, he got over that, you know, young mentality, like, rookie mistakes, sort of. Daniel Jones needs to do that too. I think he makes a lot of rookie mistakes.
I mean, he's only 23. He's super young.
How old is Josh Allen? Is he 24? Then maybe they're along the same track. You never know.
Okay, a little side note. That's
Josh Allen's 24, so we could be seeing the exact same thing happen.
Damn, that's scary. I don't like the age or this little, like, dilemma that we're getting ourselves into with, like, us getting, like, we just both reached 20, and then, like, people are people are starting to get into the NFL at, like, what, 21, 22. So it's kind of, we're getting to that age where, like, we're starting to see. I don't know. I just find it weird because, like, Daniel Jones is 23 years old, and he's, like, he's in the NFL. Like, what am I going to be doing at 23? You know, that's kind of the same thing.
Maybe, you know, within our own industry, we can also say we're, like, up there. You know.
Yeah, that is true. That's the kind of the same thing that I had with Billie Eilish. Or why did I fucking say eyelash?
You're so disrespectful.
I didn't mean it.
Put respect on Billy's name.
Okay, fuck. Why did I fucking say that? I wasn't purposely trying to say eyelash. Like, that was an accident.
Eilish.
There. Like, she was fucking, like, what? How old was she when that one song came out? Like, 14 or 15? But, like...
Yeah, I mean, she was young. Same with, like,
Yeah.
Haley Williams. Both started very young.
Sorry to get sidetracked a little bit, but I'm getting a little FOMO of that. Because, like, I want
FOMO just because you want to be famous?
to... Yeah.
Damn. Hey, I mean, it doesn't always work out, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a lot of shit for it because it's easy to just be, I don't know, exposed to a lot of bad shit when you're young. You know, you're impressionable. Sometimes it's good to wait once you've matured enough.
Yeah. All right, let's bring it back.
Yeah, bringing it back. Shaquille Barrett, edge rusher. I wanted him to come in. But you know, Colts of course never will take part in that initial rush of free agency where everyone's, you know, just throwing money at people. They just wait it out. And it just so happened Shaquille Barrett wanted to run it back with Tampa Bay. He got that money. And here's my thing with Tampa Bay. I feel like they had a great streak in the playoffs. They definitely had an amazing playoff performance. But when you look at regular season, it's just like they only end up with like a wild card berth. It's not like they're a great enough team to be like, oh, run it back. Like they're the fucking, you know, three-peating Chicago Bulls. Like, run it back. Like, you didn't have an amazing regular season, so how can we really say that like it's going to like repeat? I'm not going to call their playoff performance luck at all because I do believe they deserved what they ended up getting, which is the Super Bowl, just based off of that playoff performance. But like, who's to say you just end up with another not shitty, but like just decent regular season, and then people catch up to, you know, how well you do in the playoffs? Because like I don't think they were outstanding to the point where they're like running back material. Like every starter deserves to be here, you know? I feel like they're one of the Super Bowl teams that definitely has room for improvement, but like they're just so hyped up over nothing, you know what I mean?
I'm going to have to disagree a little bit on that. Just because right now they are on a 10-game win streak. They won the last 6 regular season games.
Well, okay, that's what I mean. They were on a streak, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, they didn't have, like, a fucking 14-2 or 13-3, like, amazing, like, season like the Chiefs did. But they, like, did enough to get at least in the playoffs. 11-5 record. So I feel like they did enough to...
But, like, these are
to get into
streaks. Okay, regardless whether this happens in playoffs or regular season,
Yeah.
like, streaks happen.
Yeah.
And then they, you know, I would rather see, like, sustained consistency with, like, you know, losses. You know, every now and then you get occasional losses. Like, Steelers fell apart after their first loss.
Yeah.
Ravens, they had a fucking amazing regular season. It was, like, 14-2 or whatever. They lose in the playoffs. The next season, they're kind of a mess. They win their playoff game against the Titans. Good on them, but then, you know, they kind of stand a chance the next game. It's like, I feel like these streaks happen a lot where there's like this urgency almost, especially at the end of seasons. But, you know, people are bound to catch up.
Yeah.
It's not like they had a sustained, well, I don't even want to say sustained because a 10-win streak is really good. But I don't know, they just didn't have like a super solid all-around regular season to be able to say, like, you know, let's run it back. Because they're not a super team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, New England, they've had variations of super teams where they, you know, had 16-0 and then made it to the Super Bowl. Like, that's when you can say, oh, let's run it back. But they didn't have that, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, like...
You don't think they don't have any room for improvement?
I mean, they do, but I mean, like, I would rather, as a team, or like a fan as a team, I'd rather see those growing pains early in the season to get it out of the way.
Absolutely.
And then I think...
I'm just saying, like, exactly, their streak came at a lucky time for them.
Yeah.
Not to say that it was luck that got them through, but, like, they had really great performances right when they needed it, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, I agree with you, but, like, personally, I would rather have the Buccaneers season and win this... Okay, this is like super obviously, but I'd rather have the Bucs 11-5 season and then win the Super Bowl comparatively to a 15-1 Chiefs team who lost to in the Super Bowl. But I mean,
okay, I agree. I would rather have that, but afterwards in the off season, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
What are you looking at as far as improving goes? Are you gonna look at the fucking what was the Buccaneers like 10-6?
11-5.
11-5? Okay, that's better than I thought. Would you look at 11-5 Buccaneers that went undefeated in the playoffs, or look at a 15-1 Chiefs team that only lost one game in the playoffs? Would you look at those two things and then be like, the Chiefs have way more to improve on? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Chiefs obviously had that offensive line that needed improvement, and like obviously they got that fixed now.
Yeah.
Like they realized that, and now that I'm looking at it, it's like Chiefs have the upper hand now. Whereas like Buccaneers, they have this run it back mentality. They're not really improving.
Yeah.
So that's my ish.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because like I think I just need to see them, how do they perform to begin the season and actually like throughout the season to actually do like see.
Yeah, obviously I'm talking very theoretically. Like,
yeah,
they could prove me wrong. I'm not denying that, but like, I feel like they're just way in over their head. Like, just the rush of winning is getting to them, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's gonna catch up to them, and I'm getting a little feeling before this conversation that it was basically just growing pains because they did have a lot of new additions to that team.
Sure, yeah.
With Tom Brady, having a new quarterback start your team is always difficult to actually start off hot
streak. He was
streak.
with the Patriots for so long.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was Tom Brady that was doing the growing pains. I guess he didn't start off amazing, but I think he still had some good appearances. I think that defense is what ended up improving and like especially carried them through the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say.
And how many new pieces did they have with their starting defense? I don't think it was that many.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I don't know too much about their defense, but I meant just kind of like a collective because they added Tom Brady. They added a crap ton of new offensive players like Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, and probably a bunch of other players as well. So, like, if you have that many players starting at crucial positions, then they're going to... Sorry, let's get the hiccups. They're going to have a lot of growing pains, but, I mean... I agree with you. I think they're getting too cocky, and now it makes sense. Like I feel like they just need to do something and not just keep the same team because I don't know. I like Super Bowl teams. You just always see teams improving and not keeping 100% of their roster, and that's why you rarely see teams after winning the Super Bowl keep 100% of their players. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that, like money and other implementations, like retirement.
It's super money because usually you're spending a lot of money just to get the players acquired to make it to the Super Bowl. But then, when it comes to re-signing, especially like the rookies, it's just like, well, all of a sudden we don't have the money for that. We're just going to have to draft new ones, It's kind of like a cycle.
Yeah. I think they got lucky with the Tom Brady effect too, as well, because I feel like everyone wants to play with Tom Brady and win championships. So that effect alone is going to lower contracts. And Tom Brady, as a player, like throughout his career, he doesn't take major contracts. He even stated like, all right, I'm going to take less money to improve the team. I mean, I think the only reason why he does that is because his wife is fucking making like millions and millions of dollars, so he doesn't really need the money, but and he's like making money elsewhere, but like I don't know, I think that's the only thing that I actually like.
Tom Brady will never have to worry about money, and neither will his children, maybe even his grandchildren. I don't know how far it'll go down. But
that's the only thing that I like about Tom Brady is that like he actually takes pay cuts to improve the team and thinking about the team first.
I mean, it's Tom Brady. I mean, if this was like the first 10 seasons of his career, he may have been more conscious about it, but after that point, like, you're just getting endorsements everywhere else.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you can take endorsements plus like large contracts as well.
But he doesn't need to.
Well, I mean, like,
I do feel like, he's greedy in both ways. He wants to win and he wants money. When he knows that, like, he has to set aside some money for the winning, for the team, then he'll do it because he just wants both. And he knows that money's no issue. Yeah. But because of the cap in the NFL, like that whole thing, because he knows that like, teams can't just get endorsements and get money, Then he'll set aside for some of his own because he knows they can get unlimited outside the NFL. I feel like that's my whole idea around Tom Brady is like he's smart in the fact that like he knows that he can get money elsewhere and then continue winning. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I shouldn't put Brady on such a pedestal. I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
No,
I
I'm
don't
just joking.
care because
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's very easy to get in the mindset of like, oh, I'm one of the greatest quarterbacks. I deserve my pay because that looks good. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's one of the highest paid ever. Like whatever. Yeah, I think it's just smart for him to just, you know, he doesn't have to.
Yeah. I just looked up his career earnings just from football alone, like excluding everything outside of that. Per Spot Trek, Brady made roughly $235 million over 20 seasons with the Patriots. Averaging $11.758 million per year. Add the money he made in 2020, and he's made roughly $263 million over 21 seasons. So that's basically Patrick Mahomes' contract.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think it's crazy to see how less money Brady is taking comparatively to some of these other quarterbacks because like
I feel like Patrick Mahomes needs to because he's young. Like
Yeah.
he wants to set himself up for success. I think later in his career he won't be taking as big as contracts, even if it's sustainable. He just, you know, I think he'll get to the point where it's like, you know, I need to do what I need to do for my team to win. But like, yeah, I feel like as far as your first ever extension goes, go for the bag. Absolutely, go for the max.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I just think it's crazy with the other contracts as well. Like with the Dak Prescott recently signed with like $160 million, and then freaking Carson Wentz's contract was $130 million, and then like Kirk Cousins' contract a little while ago he was signed for like $86 million. So, but it's just crazy to see like these few year deals being like in the $130 to $150 million range for only 4 or 5 years, but Brady took only $235 million for 20 years. But it's crazy to see.
Yeah.
But yeah. So where were we?
Yeah, we got super sidetracked by the Buccaneers. Yeah, because we're talking about Shaquille Barrett. So Juju Smith-Schuster did end up deciding to re-sign with Steelers. People are getting worried for a second that he wouldn't. I mean, there's such a fucking fraternity, the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, of course he's not gonna leave. That's the way I look at them. They're a fucking fraternity.
Yeah.
It's kind of Buccaneers at this point as well, but I feel like Steelers have had that culture for a while.
I'm glad to see him re-sign with the Steelers because like he just fits there so well with his tickety-tockety dances on the logos and fucking cocky as shit. Let's stay on the Steelers. Like you're going like if he would have went on any other team, he would have just fucking like misrepresented them so much and put in like I would have absolutely hated wherever he went.
Jesus Christ. Okay, next one is Bud Dupree. He went to the Titans too, and we were just talking about how Titans. Who'd they also get? Am I tripping? Didn't they get someone big?
Oh fuck! I know who you're talking about, but for some reason it's not coming to mind.
Anyways, they also got Danico Autry from the Colts, who's a defensive end. So that was huge for them. Yeah, they acquired someone. We were literally just talking about that, weren't we?
Wasn't it a receiver? I feel like it was a.
Oh no, I was saying that they wanted Justin Simmons. They didn't actually. That's why that was coming to mind. Yeah, okay. But regardless, they got Bud Dupree and Danico Autry, two really big defensive improvements for them. I mean, this is a defensive-minded coach, by the way, so like it makes sense. And like, offense is pretty sufficient, I would say. Really great wide receiver 1, RB1. Quarterback does what he needs to do. It's consistent enough.
Oh wait, I think I'm thinking about Corey Davis, but he went to the Jets.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But
anyways, next, Aaron Jones.
Wait, hold on.
What?
I'm just going to reset the camera. Okay, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, running back for Green Bay, re-signed. Everyone was worried that he wasn't going back to Green Bay. They were just like they didn't show enough interest, especially during play. Like they didn't give him a lot of snaps, but when you have MVP Aaron Rodgers, it's hard to do that.
I feel like if the Packers focused more on the run game throughout the playoffs, then I feel like they could have beaten the Bucks. Yeah. But it was kind of like a shootout. But like it was kind of hard, like you said, to kind of actually rush. But like he's so much better than what his stats say.
Yeah,
It's pretty
Rams
weird.
is what mine was, because they definitely needed a running back. But and then you said Arizona also needed a running back, so both made sense. Levante David, linebacker, recently with Tampa Bay. We already talked about that. Defense. Leonard Floyd, edge rusher from the Rams. He did resign with the Rams. We were right about that. Here's the weirdest one that we both got right. Is Joe Thuney, guard from New England. We both said we'd go to the Chiefs, which obviously this makes sense because Chiefs really needed a guard, but it's just funny that we got that right considering he went elsewhere and we both exactly knew where he was going to go. Chiefs, that was their number one concern, was we need to fix this offensive line.
Yeah, because there was a couple other offensive linemen within free agency and just being released or whatever. And Trent Williams, and then other marketable guys that teams were offering to trade as well. But what you said, it's kind of funny that we chose that guy to be placed on the Chiefs.
And Chiefs were getting rid of a lot of their linemen. I think they were just you know what, this line is getting a reset. We're not just going to Band-Aid fix this shit. We're going to actually go in and get new people, and that is going to be that's going to be their round 1 pick in the draft. I think everyone knows that, is they're going to address the offensive line. So, sorry, New England. Can't keep them. Chiefs are taking it. New dynasty, bitch. Okay. Corey Davis, yeah. Tennessee wide receiver. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
He went to the Jets? Ooh, he's trying to go with fucking whoever they end up getting. Zach Wilson, probably.
Yeah. I was going to say Trevor Lawrence, but then I remember that Jacksonville is going to take him.
Yeah, Jags are right where they need to be.
What if the Jets take Mac Jones? That'll be so funny.
That'd be the dumbest thing ever.
But, yeah.
I would sooner take maybe 4 other quarterbacks before Mac Jones.
Yeah, I would too. He's the next Tom Brady. Okay, I don't want to talk sorry about that. I just don't want to talk too much about the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my beat, because we're doing that next
week. Here's one really big crazy one that I got. That wasn't a re-sign. It was Will Fuller to the Miami Dolphins. I called this. And you said he was going back to Houston, and I was arguing with you, if Deshaun Watson wants to get the fuck out of there, what makes you think he would want to stay around for that shit?
Yeah.
Whatever quarterback he ends up getting, we all know he's an amazing guy, an amazing player. The only issue against him is that he's not going to be able to start the next couple of games because of a suspension. So that kind of hindered his chances of really chasing a good contract. Hey, he knows Miami's building something there, and I was also thinking with all the rumors of Deshaun Watson going to Miami, that's one of his biggest destinations. It made sense if he were to sign there. So maybe Will Fuller had that in mind, maybe not. I'm sure he wouldn't mind Tua either. And they definitely needed another wide receiver. So this is great for both sides, I think. Nelson Aguilar, your boy.
Okay, I wanted Nelson Aguilar back. I never wanted him to leave the Eagles. I want to go off a little bit too, because I'm so angry at the Patriots. Because this just reminded me how many people are on the fucking Patriots now. So you got both tight ends, Geno Smith, Hunter Henry, both going on the
Oh yeah, I mean these are the next two: Nelson Aguilar and Hunter Henry. Went to the Patriots.
Nelson Aguilar, we both predicted he would return to Las Vegas, but for Hunter Henry, we both thought that he was going to return to the Chargers because of Hunter. Oh no, not Hunter. What's their quarterback name?
I forget. Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, because we thought that they had a good bond.
They had a good run.
But the Patriots got Geno Smith and Hunter Henry. They also got defensive back Jalen Mills from the Eagles as well. So they stole him from us. They got Nelson Aguilar. I guess those are only the most notable guys. And they also got Kyle Van Noy, linebacker. No, I don't know how to pronounce this, but he was a previous Patriots that helped won a couple Super Bowls with them, and he was really elite.
Jesus Christ, his list is long.
Yeah, but fucking Patriots just got so many guys over free agency. They're
a completely new team. They're really now dedicated to rebuilding. Last year they just lost people, it feels like Tom Brady, and they just had it was the ruins of the old Patriots, but now they're actually rebuilding on top of the ruins.
Oh fuck, they lost a lot of guys too. Like Julian, okay, I'm going to speed read this, but the departures, Julian Edelman, Dustin Woodard, Michael Barnett, Ross Reynolds, Cassie Milana, Michael Pinckney.
I don't think they wanted any of these people.
Yeah,
There's
true.
like new era.
I'm just gonna stop because I realized now that they got rid of Patrick. Oh, they got rid of Patrick Chung and Bo Allen. That's kind of sad. They're both Eagles. All right, I'm going to stop reading this because I've realized that I made a mistake and I cannot read names. So I'm going to stop myself from embarrassment. But yeah, they had a very busy free agency so far. It's crazy.
Shout out to T.Y. Hilton for re-signing with Indianapolis.
Yeah.
He could have gotten the biggest payday of his life if he went to the Ravens. And the fact that he just completely went out and said this on basically every interview he's had about this is really funny. But he's like, I'm back on the Colts. And, like, I think Wentz is really going to like him. I think T.Y. is definitely really going to like Wentz after Rivers, because Rivers, deep ball, not really his biggest, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Wentz is known for his arm strength. I feel like that's going to be perfect.
Rivers, as everyone knows, will just toss it to the running backs and tight ends for his entire career and will do great by doing it, but he's never really had a wide receiver who really loved him for it.
I didn't know.
A wideout, at least.
Yeah, I didn't know Philip Rivers was like that throughout his entire career.
I mean, just think about it. Think of all the records he set with, like, LaDainian Tomlinson and, who's the Hall of Famer tight end? Why am I blanking on this?
Oh, Antonio Gates?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, that is true.
Think about that.
I mean, I was just going to make an excuse for him, like, his old age is limiting his, like, arm strength or whatever.
No, he's never been known for it.
I take back my compliment. I was going to give you Philip Rivers. I'm sorry. Or not compliment, but I was going to defend him.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter. He did a good job regardless. And, it's not like he's terrible at the deep ball. He's just, like, in his decision making, he ends up going to other people. Just like a habit, I guess.
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney finally re-signed somewhere. He was one of the latest people to do it. Browns.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I just hate Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about him.
Yeah, let's not give him credit. The one small thing that I would add, I'm just glad that he's not a Colts or an Eagle. That's all I gotta say.
The only person who has not made a decision yet is Richard Sherman, and here's my theory. It's because I think he does want to go back to San Francisco, but after they traded up in the draft, he's like, oh, maybe they're going to rebuild and get a new quarterback. And if in that case, like with his veteran status, I don't think he wants to stick around for that. He probably just wants to go to a contender. But if they actually improve on something other than quarterback, because Garoppolo is still decent enough, then maybe he'll stick around. But he said he wanted to wait till after the draft. I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate a veteran corner. So,
like the Eagles, but I don't. That's the most confusing thing this offseason yet. For me, is why they want to get a quarterback, the 49ers, because Garoppolo his record with them is really good. Like, he's proven that he can win games. I guess.
Yeah, he's proven that he can win, but he's nothing spectacular. And with the new wide receiver additions as well, like, they have an amazing wide receiver lineup right now. I feel like they just want a young guy who could potentially be like a star, with all of that going on. But honestly, I don't know exactly what's going through their head. I know that they really wanted Tom Brady at one point.
Yeah, they would have won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. But I guess that kind of makes sense because that Super Bowl run that they had a couple of years ago, their defense kind of did carry them because and their running backs as well.
DeForest Buckner back then.
Yep. But I guess their defense did carry them to the Super Bowl because I remember everyone was busting on Garoppolo and like the offensive coordinator for not allowing Garoppolo to actually throw because he was limited to like 10 or 15 attempts per game in the playoffs, only like 10 to 15 snaps, or attempts within the playoff run. But I guess you can't really blame him because their running backs were just going off. Because I remember one of their guys had like 200 rushing yards in the playoff game. But yeah, I'm just surprised that they were thinking about getting a younger guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird if they do end up drafting another quarterback.
I
mean, their coach has been to all of the, mini camps with all the quarterbacks he's been watching.
Mhm.
Mac Jones, he was there when he missed his target. Did you see that video?
I did not.
It was just like PTSD from when Garoppolo missed his man to win the Super Bowl or something like that.
That's funny. You know what's probably going to happen? Somehow, I feel like somehow Garoppolo is going to get on the Patriots, and then they're just going to win Super Bowls again.
Yeah, I think the Patriots were looking into that, like saying, Garoppolo, is he on the table? But I think those are mainly rumors. Rob Gronkowski did not retire.
We both predicted that he would.
Yeah, they're running it back. Patrick Peterson, he's out on the Vikings now. Vikings really did need another cornerback after they got rid of Xavier Rhodes, who they felt like was washed up after his Pro Bowl run that one season. But now he's doing great things at the Colts. Colts are very happy about that. They re-signed him recently, and now they got a different, really good cornerback in Patrick Peterson. So Vikings are like one of the teams that no one's really talking about that could just really, do well, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know why, but this, out of everything, like where everyone went and there's all the different changes this free agency and in the NFL, I feel like Patrick Peterson makes the most sense in the Vikings. I don't know why, but I feel like that's like the last piece in a puzzle that you like place down and it like completes the puzzle piece. I don't know why. And then I think it's just because that the Vikings also historically have, I mean, I guess in the last like 5 to 8 years, they just have really good cornerbacks. And I don't know why.
That's true.
I guess they just another piece to that.
Yeah, they were definitely needing that. Cam Newton, New England quarterback, once again, somehow, some way. You said he would stick in free agency. I said, no fucking way he sticks in free agency. This dude is not that far off of being, his MVP run.
Mm-hmm.
I know an injury got in the way, but it's not like he is that bad, He had a terrible New England team. Because let's be honest, like, that team was ass. Like, yeah, he didn't do great either, but oh my God, New England, they were just falling apart over there. Yeah, I mean, that's what Belichick is thinking. Like, hey, Cam Newton probably still has it in him. We just have to surround him with actually good receivers for the most part. Yeah. Just, like, actually give him actually good receivers, and then, we'll probably be okay. Especially tight ends. I feel like Cam Newton would work really well with really dynamic tight ends, and Hunter Henry and the old Titans guy was Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
I think people will be surprised to see that they actually end up with a winning record. Do they end up going to the playoffs? I don't know, but I feel like they will just barely scrap over the .500 mark.
Yeah, I mean with the tight end thing too as well, he's proven that Newton really likes tight ends with Greg Olsen. Like, do you remember that relationship when they had that one like 15-1 run? That was Olsen was like his main guy, and the amount of fantasy points that those two got is like insane. And yeah, I feel like I have a deep connection with Jonnu Smith as well because I had him in fantasy and he won me a couple games.
Deep connection.
I just feel like he's my guy. But even though like I dropped him like. I forget when I dropped him. I think it was during the playoffs for fantasy, but
yeah, definitely a guy with a lot of potential that it was just underutilized with the Titans. I don't know. I mean, I guess I do know why their offense is so high powered. Like, when you have an offense that good, as far as rushing game goes and receiving game goes, it's just like it's hard to really fit in a tight end there.
Yeah,
tight ends just do a bunch of blocking at that point. So, yeah, I think he's trying to chase the other stats like receiving. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, he did really good with touchdowns because that's why I got him. And I'm like, he just needs to get more yards. But, like, he had, like, a crazy amount of touchdowns last year. I need to look this up because it was insane. Because, like, with the mixture of, like, shovel passes and stuff. Fuck, wait, how do you spell his first name?
Jonnu.
Thank you.
Deep connection, huh?
But shut up. Like, I'm so bad in fucking spelling and names.
Anyways, while we're searching this up, we went through all 25 that we predicted from before, and if you're keeping along, I had 9 correct. Caleb had 8. That could change if Richard Sherman re-signs with San Francisco. Then we'd be tied. Otherwise, I win.
Yep. Good game with that, or good job with that. So his like receiving stat line for Smith is 41 receptions for 448 yards and 8 touchdowns. I thought he had more touchdowns than that, but like if I can't find his rushing or whatever, then we can end it soon. I just want to see, because for some reason, like when you look up stats, they don't show. It's not like a complete stat line, you know.
So you go to Pro Football Reference. They have every stat you'll ever need.
I just clicked on that. Oh, receiving and rushing. 2020. Where's the full touchdowns? Why aren't you giving me why is this so why am I having such a hard time reading this?
It's a hard site to navigate, but they have every stat you'll ever need.
I just want to know the touchdowns. Wait, he had 8 touchdowns rushing. Oh wait, he only had 1 rushing touchdown. Well, never mind. He only had 9 total touchdowns. Forget I ever said anything.
All of that and for what?
That was way too much work and time on this podcast that I would have liked to spend on Smith, even though he's my guy.
Yeah, deep connection.
Yeah, he's deepest connection. Carson Wentz who? Nick Foles who? I would have re-signed Smith and he's gonna go off.
Hey Caleb, are you considering drafting Wentz in the fantasy?
Maybe.
I feel like you are. I feel like that's your first pick.
little like I think I may drop Wilson. I'm not sure.
Russell?
Yeah.
I mean, who's your other quarterback?
Hurts. I was going.
I'll take Wilson, sure.
You want to make a trade?
Oh my god.
Well,
we could.
I was thinking about this the other day, but like the 3 guys that I want to keep,
who is on my fantasy right now?
I forget. But like I was thinking about this the other day. Like the 3 guys that I want to keep is Metcalf, Hurts, and I forget the other guy. There's another guy that I was thinking about, but I have like.
I mean, it's not worth trading because I'm not going to use a keeper on any of my quarterbacks. I'm not putting a keeper on Rodgers or Murray. I'm putting on Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I have been debating, like, I should probably stick with Stephon Diggs. But I just love George Kittle so much.
Yeah, but, like, that's why I'm not, like, set in stone on Russell Wilson, because I've realized during the fantasy that I haven't previously realized is that quarterbacks are crucial, but they're not going to make or break if you win a game, I feel. It's like your other teams that have an explosive or constantly. Because, like, if your quarterback is doing bad, then, I don't know, like, you're going to lose. Because I've lost so many games just because Russell Wilson had a below-average performance. With, like, the amount of turnovers he had. Like, I don't know. And he's known for, like, having a really good stretch. Right. But then failing the second half of the season, and that's why he hasn't been getting any MVPs, because he's always in contention for like the first half of the season with the MVP, winning the MVP award, and then he just like falls off. And I feel like if I keep him, I might just keep him for like the first season or first half of the season and then drop him or something. But I just don't feel like he's worth keeping a tag on.
You know what? Here's my decision. If San Francisco drafts a quarterback, then I'm not putting a keeper on Kittle.
Oh, you're not?
If they stick with Garoppolo, which is like a connection that works, then I will. I will. But yeah, Stephon Diggs will be my keeper otherwise.
Does Washington? What's their quarterback situation? Do you know?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that. Because my one guy that I'm keeping, like, automatically I'm placing one of those, like, franchise tags on is Travis Kelce. Because, like, he's literally such a good tight end. He won me so many games.
Yeah, I could not give a fuck about Carson. Yeah, I'm just gonna start dropping people.
Yeah, I'm probably my lineup as of now is probably Kelsey, Gibson, and Metcalf. I'm going to keep Antonio Gibson. I don't know, cause like the five that I really or six that I really want to keep is I really want to keep Jalen Hurts. I really want to keep Travis Kelsey. I really want to keep Miles Sanders. I really want to keep Antonio Gibson, and I really want to keep DK Metcalf. And I don't know. I have Michael Thomas too, but I think I might drop him as well. Because he made me mad last season. He made me so fucking mad.
He made me mad at you.
You know what? I'm going to fucking throw you out the window.
Damn.
But yeah. I haven't looked at the fantasy football in a hot minute. That's going to be interesting. So you want to end this?
Yeah, I want to end this.
Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.
Goodbye.